Speaking of the Big Ten, I want to ask you guys about the top of the Big Ten. Me and Theo talked about this a little bit last night, but I'm curious your opinion on it. I think that Michigan and Illinois are both. I think Illinois is a top 10 team. I think Michigan is like a top 10 to 15 team in America. I think both of them can make a Final Four. I think they're the two best teams in the Big Ten. But they also were in a spot where the two best wins that they have, both of them are Wisconsin, right? Unless you want to say at Oregon, which I don't know, whatever. But I don't know. Am I overreacting to some good performances here? Like, what do you make of Illinois? What do you make of Michigan? What do you make of the top of the Big Ten?
Yeah, I mean, Michigan is really, really good. And they're getting better, too. Namari Burnett and Trey Donaldson keep picking up steam. So that backcourt's got options. Danny Wolf's a stud.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Danny Wolf is in Big Ten Player of the Year race. He is in that race. He's having that type of a season. They fell to Arkansas. They've had some late losses, some heartbreaking losses to Arkansas, to Oklahoma. I mean, those two games by a combined 3 points, and to Wake Forest by 2. So they have 3 losses by a combined 5 points.
They were up by double digits in all 3 of those games in the second half, too.
Yes.
That's the crazy part.
Xavier has had a bad year by their standards, and they're really struggling. I watched them at a different stage in November at the Fort Myers tip-off in the championship game. Michigan beat them by 25. They kicked the crap out of them. On Saturday night, they shot the shoot out of the ball. I mean, they hit 10 3-pointers, and Donaldson, Burnett, and Wolf just carried them to the finish line. They're good offensively, and they've got enough defensively between Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf to say, yes, they're dangerous. I mean, as we wake up today, they're 13th in KenPom, and they're top 25 in both offense and defense, and playing a top 60 tempo in the country. But nobody's more talented in the Big Ten than Illinois. Illinois is the most talented team in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Underwood's layered something new out of Kylan Boswell. Kasparas Yakuchonis is a top 5 NBA draft pick right now. He's playing that well. He is an initiator. He playmakes, he creates, he's a shot maker. He is special. He's better than Yegor Demon. He's better than Asa Newell right now on the draft. And I take him before I took Trey Johnson, who I think is really good and going to be a top 6 or 7 pick. But I put Yakuchonis just ahead. Yakuchonis.
Those jumbo creators, man. If you're 6'6" and you can read the game and playing ball screens, and like that's all the rage. It's why I think you called Tio. Did you call Danny Wolf a lottery pick last night?
Yeah, late lottery. He's old, so I would say late lottery.
So, the fact they followed up the win over Oregon and went to Washington, a lot of people be like, oh, John, Washington. No. When you win a game that big, you got to follow it up. And what was Washington doing? They were coming off a win over Maryland. I will say the Big Ten is going to learn that when it comes to those West trips, Washington is a really hard place to garner a win at. No matter how talented or not talented Washington is, they get fans. It's hard to go all the way out to Seattle. Eugene doesn't have the same atmosphere. UCLA doesn't have the same atmosphere. USC does not have the same atmosphere either. USC, it felt like some movie stars watching the game Saturday night at the game. It didn't feel like a raucous, crazy crowd. And Michigan alumni. So to be able to follow that up with the win over Washington, it's not easy to do. And I think Brad said about a month ago, T.O., he said, I got to get Trey White more opportunities. Trey White's capitalizing.
Yeah,
he really is.
It's good for Trey to play beside Yakuchonis because he understands what he is. He's Trey White's there to score and to just manufacture some opportunities for him, make Illinois better. So that's all well and good. How long is that flight from Illinois to Washington?
It's like 4.5, 5 hours.
There's no way it's that freaking long.
You were getting destroyed for that last night. Yo said it takes 2 hours to get.
I said it takes 3. I said 2.5, 3 hours, which is what it should take. No, because I get from Atlanta to Salt Lake City in 4. That's what am I missing?
This is live podcasting right here. I just Googled Chicago to Seattle flight time, 4 hours and 45 minutes on a nonstop flight.
Okay, so that tells me this. They say 4 hours and 45 minutes. They're gonna take off. It's probably 4 hours. probably a 4-hour flight, 3.5, 4 hours. That's ridiculous. That's piloting malpractice from the middle of the country to the left corner. Drive straight there. What are you doing? Taking a scenic route? Ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense that I could get from Atlanta to Salt Lake in less than 4.
Right now, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
why are you so upset about this?
It's ridiculous. I just couldn't believe I was just
On
piloting
flight
malpractice. Huh?
On flight time, you're actually going on a rant on the time of a flight.
Yeah, because everybody was like, it's not that big of a
yo.
deal. It's the middle of the country, and you're getting to the left corner of the country. Going from Stanford to Syracuse, a long trip. Like Illinois to Washington.
It's a long trip, man.
Tio, I'm with you.
Not
This
that
is
big a deal.
ridiculous. It takes
Rutgers
me
to
3.5
Washington
hours.
is a big deal.
It takes me 3.5 hours to get to Texas from here. It should like the Chicago to Washington should never take 4 hours for it. Piloting now, I'm with you, Tio. This is ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying.
Also,
What are we doing?
We gotta talk to the people from United. We got to talk to the people that are flying these private jets. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw this, and we'll get back on track here in a second.
No, I don't want to get back on track. I want to talk about piloting. We're going
Stanford.
Yeah,
flying.
did you see this? They're taking a regional jet. Listen to this, Fanta. They're taking a regional plane from the left coast to the east coast. They have to stop twice on the way over because Stanford's trying to ball on a budget. Like, dude, if you're gonna embrace this conference thing, you can't do that to the kids, man. You can't, like, that's crazy. If you're all in on this move, you got to be able to get a plane that can go from coast to coast. That's crazy. It puts them at such a disadvantage. They're going to have to do it like 5 times this year. That's stupid. I thought the people at Stanford were smart. I thought they were smart.
They flew home from Pittsburgh. They left at, I believe it was 12:45 a.m., right? I think Goodman posted this. I believe it was 12:45 a.m. They stopped twice, and they didn't land back in Palo Alto until like almost 6 a.m. local time.
Local time, which means that's just
that's
insane.
what when I take a red eye.
That's 9 a.m. East Coast. Like, it's just crazy.
When I take red eye, that's how the time works. When I take red eyes going the other direction, right? Like that's when it's 4 hours. That's 9 hours of travel. 9 hours of travel on a regional jet. You know it's not comfortable for. Imagine Max.
It's like an American. It's like an American Airlines jet where the seats are so tight and close together, where like those 7-footers can't move. There's probably 2 seats on one side, 1 on the other. Those kids are and they got to stop 3 times. Dude, Stanford, listen to me. Kyle, I know you're a smart guy. Listen to me. Fly commercial. If they're going to do that shit to you, fly commercial and connect once.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep. No, I'm with you, man.
Guys, I got to go. What else we doing? What we got?
No, I just the last thing I got, Michigan or Illinois. Who you got? You got to pick one of them, T.O. You got to bet your mortgage on one of those 2 teams to have a better season. Who you got?
Illinois. Just because I know what Underwood is capable of and how good he is. I love Michigan, too. I've been on that bandwagon the entire year. But Illinois, just because of Underwood, and that's not a shot against Dusty May. I'm just still kind of in wait-and-see mode with Dusty May.
I can't watch what I did in Eugene on Thursday night, what happened in that game, and say anyone but Illinois in the Big Ten. That was an absolute woodshedding. And I got to tell you, I'm now wondering about Oregon because that was eye-opening to say the least. Oregon's been a different team since they were told that they get $1 million if they win a game in Las Vegas. They haven't been the same team since they got some NIL money, T.O., for winning games. That performance was just domination. They played about as well as I've seen any team play. It was the second largest woodshedding I've seen next to Gonzaga Baylor this year, which was opening night, which Gonzaga was just unbelievable on that night. So look, it's going to be Illinois. Illinois is the most talented team in the Big Ten. Does it mean they will win it? No, it does not. But they are the most talented. That league race is going to be a lot of fun. Quietly, it's fun to talk. We just did a whole lot of talk on the Big Ten. And we didn't say Braden Smith's name once. And so I'm not ready to just totally discount where Purdue is and who they are and how much Smith covers up with them.